What's going on? Hey, what's going on, sir? How are you? Deep. Please take your seats. We will begin in a few moments as a courtesy. We request that all of the duration of the ceremony. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Senior Master Sergeant Sean Hamlin, and I will be your narrator for today's ceremony. On behalf of Lieutenant Colonel Andrea Granados, welcome to the retirement ceremony. Today, the men and women of the 42nd Maintenance Squadron pay special tribute for his retirement from reserve duty in the United States Air Force. As a reminder, during the singing of our national anthem, military members in uniform should stand at attention. Members not in uniform and civilians should place their right hand over their hearts. Recognizing a member who is retiring from a career of long and honorable service is one of the oldest traditions in the military. A retirement ceremony is a prestigious event and the highest honor we can give a retiring Air Force member. This ceremony is used to say thank you for a faithful service, to wish good luck in future endeavors, and to give a bid a heartfelt farewell as a member transitions into an Air Force retirement. Through this transition, we must remember that military retirement is just an extension of an Air Force career, and that retired members will continue to be a valued part of the United States Air Force community. Today, we continue this tradition. We have the privilege of recognizing Chief Master Sergeant Frank Jensen as he retires from the United States Air Force. We also recognize and acknowledge the many sacrifices the Jensen family has endured. We recruit individuals of regime families. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the posting of the colors, followed by a playing of our national anthem and the invocation. Post the colors. Oh, hey, what? Chaplain Kim will now offer the invocation. Please join me in prayer. O Lord, today we recognize Chief Master Frank Jensen and offer thanksgiving for the service he has given to the United States Air Force, Team March, and the 4th and 17th Squadron. O Lord, bless Chief Jensen and his family as they experience this special passage in their lives. Today we look to you for your blessings as he transitions from military duty to retirement from the Air Force. As we participate in this ceremony, we are given reminded that everything we have is a gift from you. The gifts of family, friends, loyal service, camaraderie, hopes, joys, and even those difficult lessons we learned from past hardships are gifts of your grace. Thank you. As the chapter ends and the new one begins, we thank Chief Jensen and his family favor, wisdom, joy, peace, more love and direction during this time and equip them to meet the challenges of the future. Lastly, we humbly ask the Lord that you also bless, protect, and guide our faith this morning. Team March, U.S. Air Force, and our country. In your name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Chaplain Kim. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our civilian and military distinguished guests in attendance today. Our honoree's wife, Mrs. Diane Jensen, and their son, James, and daughter Chloe, with her husband, Aaron, along with sister Steph and her partner, Cindy. His cousin, Dad, Aunt Joe, and their partner, Ken, also currently join in person from Washington State. Their son, Zach, and daughter, Marissa, were unable to attend, but are recognized as well. Please also welcome the commander of the 4th and 2nd Maintenance Group, Colonel Amy Howard, and Group Chief Gabrielle Montoya. We'd also like to welcome all commanders, directors, chief master sergeants, first sergeants, airmen, and all of Team March in attendance today, along with all of those joining on YouTube. We are pleased to have with us today our presiding official, Lieutenant Colonel Andrea Granados. Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Granados. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the reading of the citation to accompany the War of America.
Good afternoon, distinguished guests, Colonel Howard, Chief Montoya, friends, family, men and women of the 42nd Squadron. I am humbled and honored to speak here today, to have the opportunity to offer brief remarks and bid farewell to Chief Jensen, and to recognize and honor his over 24 years of service to our nation and our Air Force. I'd like to start by recognizing some of the most important people who supported him and sharing with us. His children, James and Chloe, who are here with us today, and Zach and Marissa. Although you're not with us today, you should know these weeks strongly with you, these church and events happening. And we'd also like to thank his sister Steph, his cousin Matt, and Aunt Joe for coming. And there are many other people I would point out for the sake of time, I would just thank all of you for taking time out of your day to join us and celebrate this occasion. I was first introduced to Chief Jensen by way of email from our former group commander. At that time, Senior Master Sergeant Jensen had inquired about upcoming vacancies in the 4th and 2nd Infantry. A short time later, I had the opportunity to sit in on an interview and observe Senior Master Sergeant Jensen impress the interview panel consisting of a former command chief and a few group superintendents from the 4th and 2nd Air Wheeling Wing with his responses to their questions, particularly his desire to mentor and take care of airmen. After the interview, I learned that Chief Jensen had taken a few days off work from his civilian job to visit the maintenance squadron and the East South and interview in person despite living in Washington State. I had the privilege of offering Senior Master Sergeant Jensen a promotion to Chief Master Sergeant and inviting him to join the best squadron in the Air Force, the 4th and 2nd Air Squadron. Chief Jensen accepted and hit the ground running. He identified areas where the NSS can improve. He created and published a squadron newsletter, which is distributed twice a month, to keep the squadron informed of the requirements, promotion, and retirements on. And he created a section called 3 Things About, which helps us get to know each other on a more personal level and foster data information and camaraderie. So for those of you who didn't receive the newsletter, back in August of 2019, 3 things about Chief Jensen was that he works at the AD as a senior marketing manager. He's married for 14 years at the time, his wife Diane, and he has 4 children and 3 grandchildren. Lives in Vancouver, Washington, loves to travel and hike, more about that in a minute. And he's working on product license. He utilizes information technology skills to create a peer-reviewed self-fiction, which aided us in achieving public readiness on his weekends. More importantly, he helped us navigate Microsoft Teams during our sudden and unexpected telework meetings. He kept us on track during our strategic planning meetings by drafting agendas, meetings, discussions, and getting sessions, and capturing our progress and creating after-action reports, which ultimately led to the creation of the Access Mission Vision Statement. He never shied away from difficult conversations, and he always worked to find the best possible solution when airmen were experiencing challenges. I've been impressed with his ability to confront uncertainty with agility and innovation, which is so important given the many manpower and equipment and funding challenges we face. I observed his unwavering work ethic and his desire to mentor and develop learning. The COVID-19 struggles, travel, and escape participation plans. He overcame obstacles and served in a telework capacity, never missing a beat. I had the pleasure of attending his chief induction ceremony and sharing an experience with he and his wife Diane, and that was one of the best after parties I've ever been to. Speaking of a hike, I saw Chief James very close when we stayed once. I said, Chief, what do you know? So I'm going to go hike Diane. I said, you know, in 32 years I've been coming to this place, I've never done it. So 8 nights later, and even though I slowed it down quite a bit, I didn't go. Thanks, Chief, I appreciate that. And speaking of appreciation, I tested just before I said, Chief, I just want to make sure we're on track for rehearsal and coming up. He said, yes, ma'am, you to have an updated script, and then he just texted me back, it's just the words. He said, appreciate it. Chief, you appreciate it. Chief Jensen, you successfully led and mentored our company, fostered many relationships that will stay with you long after you get this new chapter of life. The goals you have set and achieved are impressive, and you have improved the 4th and 2nd Infantry Squadron over the past 2.5 years. I know your retirement goals that are not yet accomplished. Maybe you finish it 20 hours for your pilot license. Given the complexity of the world in which we live, the world will never be done. But you can pass on the torch showing you made positive changes directly impacting the readiness and operational effectiveness of the maintenance squadron and our Air Force. So seize today and cherish the quality time with important people around you. Hopefully, COVID-19 will soon be a thing of the past and you can resume traveling, cruising, or just relaxing on weekends. Chief Jensen, thank you for your service. I wish you and your family all the best. On behalf of the men and women of the 4th Pacific Major Squadron, English Group, and the 4th Pacific Air Mobility Wing, thank you for sharing yourself and your talents with us for the last 2.5 years. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Lieutenant Colonel Bernardes. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the reading of the citation to accompany the award of meritorious service. Attention to orders. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America authorized by Executive Order 16 January 1969 has awarded the meritorious service medal to Chief Master Sergeant Frank J. Jensen for meritorious service 1 August 2016 to 29 September 2021. Chief Master Sergeant Frank J. Jensen distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States Assistant Superintendent, 4th Cadet Maintenance Squadron, March Reserve Base. During this period, Chief Jensen worked diligently to advance the effectiveness of squadron programs. He developed a mechanism that provided a single document to comprehensively track the unit training assembly requirements of squadron personnel. This serves to guarantee complete accountability of responsibilities, but also to achieve maximum productivity. His overall management efforts resulted in soaring squadron metrics, in addition to the completion of 46,000 combined C-17 and KC-135 flying hours and more than 11,000 sorties. Additionally, Chief Jensen created and managed the unit training, the informative squadron newsletter sent out to squadron members prior to the unit training assembly. This document helped to ensure members arrived prepared to complete assignments. It also contained helpful tips and tricks to educate members on various professional topics. Finally, Chief Jensen served the Navy as the chief induction ceremony planner. He created an innovative registration and guest list tool and managed the data for 400 plus attendees. His remarkable efforts helped to maintain control over the guest list, which was essential to successful execution and key to the ceremony being a memorable event for 20 chiefs and their families. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Chief Jensen culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing for the reading of the retirement order. Attention to order. Attention to order. Department of the Air Force Headquarters, Air Force Reserve Personnel Center, Special Order Number EPA 2808, dated 27 May 2021. Retirement of Chief Master Sergeant Frank Jensen, Assistant Superintendent, Mark Air Reserve Base, California, is relieved from reserve duty assignment effective 30 September 2021. Chief Master Sergeant is retired in the grade of E9. Please be seated. To commemorate his retirement, Lieutenant Colonel Bernardes will now present Chief Master Sergeant Jensen with a certificate of appreciation. Certificate of retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America to all who shall see these presents. Greeting. This is to certify that Chief Master Sergeant Frank J. Jensen, having served faithfully and honorably, was retired from the United States Air Force on the 12th day of September of the year 2021. Chief of Air Force Reserve Richard W. Scobie, Lieutenant General, U.S. Air Force, and Chief of Staff Charles Q. Brown, Jr., General, U.S. Air Force. Certificate of Appreciation for service in the Armed Forces of the United States of America, Chief Master Sergeant Frank J. Jensen. I extend to you my personal thanks and a sincere appreciation of a grateful nation for your contribution of honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of our nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years, you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you serve. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Joseph R. Biden, Commander-in-Chief. And now we invite Mrs. Jensen onto the stage for a very special recognition of her personal contributions. Lieutenant Colonel Granados will present Mrs. Jensen with the Air Force Certificate of Appreciation. Certificate of Appreciation from the United States Air Force to Diane Jensen for the unselfish, faithful, and devoted service you provided your spouse. This endless support and understanding assisted in making possible your spouse's lasting contribution to the mission of the Armed Forces of the United States of America, and upon transfer to the United States Air Force Retired Reserve on the 30th day of September of the year 2021, signed, Chief of the Air Force Reserve, Richard W. Scobie, Lieutenant General. Every retiree receives a special retirement pin as a memento of their active duty service. At this time, I'd like to ask Mrs. Jensen to place this pin on her husband's lapel to symbolize his transition from reserve duty to retired status. This bouquet of roses is presented to Mrs. Jensen on behalf of Chief Master Sergeant Frank Jensen for all your support during the years of military service together.
One thing about, serving in the airport, we always sacrifice your family. It's for us to do a lot of things that, man, thank you to the picnic today, some stuff for you too, but, it's really a thank you to the kids for
Thank you, Mrs. Jensen, Chloe, and James. Now we will hold the flag folding ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the official part of our ceremony. Please remain seated. We will now conduct the flag folding ceremony performed by Staff Sergeant Munoz and Valdez. For more than 200 years, the American flag has been a symbol of our nation's unity, as well as the source of pride and inspiration for millions of citizens. Born on June 14, 1777, the Second Continental Congress determined that the flag of the United States in 13 stripes alternating between 7 red and 6 white, and that the Union be 13 stars, white in a blue field representing a new constellation. Between 1777 and 1960, the shape and design of the flag evolved into the flag presented before you today. The 13 horizontal stripes represent the original 13 colonies, while the stars represent the 50 states of the Union. The colors of the flag are symbolic as well. Red symbolizes hardiness and valor, white signifies purity and innocence, and blue represents vigilance, perseverance, and justice. Traditionally, a symbol of liberty, the American flag has carried the message of freedom and inspired Americans both at home and abroad. In 1814, Francis Scott Key was so moved at seeing the stars and stripes waving after the British shelling of Baltimore's Fort McHenry that he wrote the words to the Star-Spangled Banner. In 1892, the flag inspired Francis Bellamy to write the Pledge of Allegiance, our most famous flag salute and patriotic oath. In July 1969, the American flag was flown in space with Neil Armstrong planted it on the surface of the moon. Today, our flag flies on constellations of Air Force satellites that circle our globe, and on a thin flash of aircraft in harm's way in every corner of the world. Indeed, it flies in the heart of every airman who serves our great nation. The sun never sets when the United States Air Force roar on the flag we so proudly cherish. Since 1776, no generation of Americans have been spared the responsibility of defending freedom. Today's airmen remain committed to preserving the freedom that others won for us for generations to come. By displaying the flag and giving it a distinctive gold, we show respect to the flag and express our gratitude to those individuals who fought and continue to fight for freedom at home and abroad. Since the dawn of the 20th century, airmen have proudly flown the flag in every major conflict on lands and skies around the world. It is their responsibility, our responsibility, to continue to protect and preserve the rights, privileges, and freedoms that we as Americans enjoy today. The United States flag represents freedom. It stands for the freedom we all share and the pride and patriotism we feel for our country. We cherish its legacy and revere it as a beacon of hope to one and all. Long may it wave. Chief Master Sergeant Jensen, on behalf of the United States Air Force and the 452nd Maintenance Squadron, please accept this flag in appreciation for your 24 years of service. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment we've all been waiting for. Today's honoree, Chief Master Sergeant Frank Jensen.
I don't know about you, but I'm always missing. So, I'll come back here because put some notes down. So I don't forget anything, but I'm sure I'm going to forget something. But it's also there to stand up in case you pass out, right? So that's what you're there for. So I want to thank for everybody that made this event happen. Sorry, thank you for put this together and all the folks that put the hard work in to make this thing a reality. And then a special thank you to Ron Thomas, for obviously taking the day off and coming up here in San Diego to be here for us. And then so Dan, we really appreciate you. And of course, all those that joined us here today, I appreciate that. Of course, those over in the YouTube land as well. Thank you for joining up there too. The ceremony really is not for me, it's for the family. As I was saying earlier, the ones that truly sacrifice, I think, are the family members, that have to take care of the household. The ones that have to get up at 3 a.m. when the smoke alarm goes off. I'm not there for like 3 times, and I don't know how that happens. So it always happens when I'm not there, right? So that's the funny part about that. There's a lot of family get-togethers. I mean, there's so many get-togethers we've had, and I was not able to make it because I was out here doing my thing. But I'm so glad that you guys were supportive of me, and I'm so honored that you guys actually flew down here to be a part of this. The kids, we didn't get a chance to see some games, we didn't get a chance to see the other events, get-togethers. Everything that we've done, I couldn't have done without the support of the family. So that's why this ceremony is here. I also wanted to thank you, Mark, for accepting me. The outside I came in from the Core Air Force Base, and made me feel like I'm part of the family. It was something that as soon as I came in here, I was really helpful and welcoming. I felt like I was part of the family immediately. And I want to thank each and everybody for taking me in and treating me that way. And thank you again, Thomas, for giving me this opportunity to do so. In addition, I also want to thank my team at the Corps there. Those guys are watching out there. I mean, spent most of my Air Force career there after duty at the end of it. And then, the reserves, I was there for almost 19 years. And, Chief Rector was one of my mentors. He's the one that kept me in when I was thinking about getting out. And he just knew how to bring the best out of each people. Chris MPO gave me the opportunity to become the H Flight Chief. And I became H Flight Chief with Chief Best. And there's so many other commanders and co-workers out there from the Corps. Thank you again for all the years that you spent working with me and mentoring me to help me get to this position. A big part of my life, it's me and me, but thank you from the bottom of my heart. So a lot of people ask me why I became chief or how I became chief, and that thing that I keep on thinking back to is, especially as it sounds, sort of the core values, Air Force core values. Obviously, you do the work, and you guys have shown that we get the mission done no matter what. Same with Team Core, like the mission gets done no matter what, no matter how much struggles we have and how many things get in our way, we still always seem to figure it out. And COVID really threw a curveball at us, and we're still able to execute the mission, right? This is one of the things that makes it so amazing to be part of such a great Air Force. And we know that we do what we can do to help out. Each one of us has a little piece in it. I'm just glad I can put my little piece into the team and the mission as well. So, question, anybody know at what temperature does the water boil? 100 degrees Celsius, that's my metric. 212 Fahrenheit, right? So when you think about the amount of temperature it takes to make water boil, it literally is from 211 to 212 degrees, or maybe 100. It's literally 1 degree that makes that difference in the water boiling or not boiling. Right now, though, I always felt like most people are here, we're making the mission happen, and we are really cooking, but we're not always boiling. And one of the things that I thought about was, what did I do to become chief? And it was always willing to put that 1 more degree to get here, right? 1 more degree of actually working, after hours when everybody else is gone and the building shut down. Hope I have the key to get back into the door after everybody's left. It's the ones where I spent the extra time at home, working from home on the mission without actually getting paid. I was okay with that because it was for a bigger cause. Like, so I started a newsletter. We didn't have money at the time. shocker, to get paid. So now I got paid, you know, it was great, but I would have done it anyways without being paid because it was just the right thing to do. To get that communication out to folks before they come to the UTA, right? And then I've heard feedback from many people that that was something that I should be appreciated. You know, I did a lot of studying. It took me a long time to see my file to get my CCAF when I was active duty Air Force. It took me 10 years to get my bachelor's, and then another 10 years for my master's, right? But the point was, I kept on, you know, moving the stick forward. I kept on trying to make things better for myself and for the family, and kept on putting that extra time in to go to school and get the things done. And again, the family has been amazing and supporting me as that time went on. So, thinking back to those core values, so the Air Force says, you know, integrity is one of the first things in the core values, and integrity is one of those things that you do it by demonstrating it. And it's doing the right thing when nobody else is looking, right? And I know a lot of my tenure here at the Fort March has been under the COVID conditions, so I've got to tell them what I'd like to. We definitely could not get done here nearly as often as I want to. But when I did that, you know, we love our technology. We didn't do laptops, like right now. We gave some new laptops too. Okay, good. Because the laptop that we have, man, I think like circa 1990 something. But you know, took it home and that one weekend, for whatever reason, we decided not to behave. And, you know, I'm an IT guy, so I'm sitting there trying to figure it out. And I called the comm squadron. They're like, bring it in. I'm not at March right now in Washington, so I can't really bring it in. So they're like, okay, well, file an IT ticket. Okay, well, IT isn't working on the weekends. So anyway, at the end of the day, the integrity was that I couldn't do my job because I couldn't get onto the laptop, right? And so after around 2 or 3 hours, I'm fighting. And I called the chief, I go, I'm so sorry, I would love to just take the money and run, but I can't just do that, right? So I rescheduled that weekend and made up for coming down here and the laptop finally got to work. So that's the integrity that, you know, I always try to live with day in and day out. The next one is the service before self. That's putting, you know, serve to lead, putting that the person that you're trying to help out before yourself and getting things done. So, you know, there's a lot of people that will, you know, check boxes and they don't really focus on the people around them. They're more about just making sure that they, you know, get their stuff done during the UTA weekend. And oh, oops, I didn't get that done for my earning. I'm sorry, I didn't get the decoration done for my earning. I'm sorry. So, you know, that's the thing that I always try to do, was try to make sure that I always took care of the first during the UTA, and those extra hours I stayed after, that's when I took care of my stuff. When I go do whatever I need to make up for the rest of the weekend and get things done. Because we are compressed on time for the weekend. It's crazy how much things you have to do in a short period of time. And it's you know, about focusing the people around you and make sure you take care of their business first, and then you take care of your own business. And that's what I try to do. So, you know, it's one of those things again where that's where the brainchild of the newsletter came out. Where when I first got here, we were engaged and talked to folks over there, like, you know, we get the changes that happen and we don't know what's going on. We get it for the weekend, and it's like, well, if we've got some newsletter, you know, the newsletter out with that, that'd be helpful. Like, oh, absolutely. So I just did it home myself, did it at home, and started it up, and then we got it going, and then everybody started saying, oh yeah, this is good. And that's just one of those things again that you do because it's right. The third thing was excellence in all we do. And that's something that I think that we're really good at showing off. You know, the little blue book, if I want, talks about, I'm going to read this one, talks about developing a sustained passion for continuous improvement and innovation that will propel the Air Force into long-term upward vector of accomplishment and performance. That's kind of what my head said, right? That's what I want to make sure that we have an upward vector, make sure that we're doing things smarter, not harder. You know, make sure that that as we work, we do make technology work for us as much as we can, and reduce the overhead of managing one of the largest squadrons in the wing. And so, you know, taking those challenges, that's where we came up with the idea of trying to consolidate this information and make it in one spot where the chiefs knew that, hey, the flight chiefs knew, hey, this is what needs to be done. We can here's what was that. It's made it a lot easier to focus on things versus this whole blast of 265 people. What are you doing? So those are the little things that I did, and each of those accomplishments I tried to do was to move the thing forward to turn on one more to get that water from 211 to 212. I would challenge all you guys to make that homework for yourselves. Find something that you can do that you can turn out that notch just homework for you, and see if we can all boil it together. What amazing things we can do, right? So as I close, I just want to again thank you for everybody. God bless and God bless America, and thank you again for coming out to us. I really appreciate it.
At this time, I would like to invite up the Chiefs group.
So this is the second one of these we're giving away this weekend. So it's kind of sad, the Chiefs group, and they're actually both the same. Kind of sad, but we're happy for you. Congratulations on your retirement. This is called a Hidden Trail statue. All the Chiefs earned this at the end of their trail. So it says Achievement Sergeant Craig Jensen, 24 years of faithful service. Watch for the Chiefs. So congratulations. Glad you served. Yeah. Gotta go to the team orientation course together.
At this time, I would like to invite up the 42nd NXS top 3.
Congratulations, Chief. Well, you have the top 3. Let me present you this flag box. It's just a small token of all of your service. We really appreciate it. And congratulations. Good luck.
At this time, I'd like to invite up Chief Master Sergeant Shiflett, Chief Master Sergeant Wilders, and the commander of the 452nd Maintenance Squadron.
Hey, Chief, so we just want to last year, the challenge, at least for all of us, COVID really hit us hard. Sorry. So, so first off, I'd like to start with Chief Jensen is a good sport, right? So when he first got here, he was a senior master sergeant, right? So Chief here, and Chief Shiflett and I would always put hangers in his closet. Just loads of, I know it was just, you could barely fit another hanger in it. We were just keeping adding hangers. Just for fun. I don't know why. And then every each day, because he would go away, he would come back, and we're here, nothing. So he would add something else to the top of his desk for his people.
a really good sport out there. But we succeed as a military because of everybody's individual talents, right? Everybody's in their strengths and weaknesses. Frank came to us at the right time. He came to us with what we needed, was somebody who could get us working remotely. And none of us really had that skill set, but he did. And he was able to navigate us through and keep us operating, keep us training, keep us having meetings, keep us having online training and all that stuff. We were able to continue to do that through COVID and continue to operate because of Frank's. Chip and I could have done it. So we needed him. So sometimes you get the right person you need at the right time. And so I appreciate that. And so I think we're going to give you this. All right. And this is what we give to chiefs within the maintenance group when they return. So I present to us. Steve also did. So I want to thank you. I want to help us out. I'm going to thank you, family, for allowing them to come all the way down here every month when we was able to. And even when he wasn't able to come down, he was working from home. So thank you for that so much. So Chief Bowles and I got this coin. Chief Jensen provides your recess. It's got the chief head on it, and on the back it's got the squadron logo on it. March River, March Field, California, retired September 2021. So hopefully you can carry that for this whole time. So we can point that.
At this time, I would like to invite any others to present gifts to Chief Master Sergeant Jensen.
All right, first, thank you to me. It is a huge sacrifice. I've said multiple times. Also a spouse, so I know shoes. I know shoes with a TR. That's hard. It's right. We need TR. The TR and the I don't know how you do it. Beautiful words. I really appreciate what you said. And I appreciate what you said. I love that analogy of good, great work picture. I don't know that I can really add a lot to what you said. So you have a niche, you have something that was missing, communication. I can't say how many times I've heard from her that what do they want more, they want more communication. They want to know what's going on. Have that. Yep.
Are there any others who would like to present a gift to Chief Master Sergeant Jensen at this time? We of March Air Reserve Base are proud to have served with Chief Master Sergeant Jensen and his wife Diana and family. We wish them continued success and Godspeed. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official army. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our ceremony today. Please join us for a reception just outside to congratulate Chief Master Sergeant Jensen and his family. Thank you for attending and wish that you have a pleasant day.